Well, as promised, it's Tuesday, and so this is the first Tutorial Tuesday. We're going to go through each card, starting with the Major Arcana, of course, with the Fool. This deck is really cool. It is Tarot of the Divine, which part of the process that I use and I'll be using is to, at some point, look up the information in the book, but I love the information in this book, and it comes in such a pretty box too. These are based on like folklore around the world and like stories and fairy tales and things like that. So it's been really enjoyable, and I've learned a few things about different stories told in other locations. So that being able to tie those things and add yet another level of correspondence with the tarot cards, which I already have a basic understanding of, just enriches that even further. So I really love being able to do that. One of the most important things, at least to me, with tarot is correspondences, and I'll share a couple of infographics just in the reference section. I'm going to figure out how to file away things in albums, but yeah, so what I recommend doing too, for me, it helps to learn things by writing them down. So I just have a running list of correspondences. And it's really great when you start learning different things like astrology, tarot. Have you noticed slightly with, the Kabbalah or whatever? I don't know much about that, but I noticed that across different things, there's a lot of connection. So a lot of correspondences, archetypes, stuff like that. So that also to me helps give a better sense of what the card represents by looking up its correspondence, like what's the zodiac correspondence, what is the color correspondence, what is the herbal correspondence, what is the numerical correspondence. And so that's the first thing that I recommend doing. Well, not the first thing. So first thing that you do, you take your card and I just look at it and say, like, what does this say to me? Just my own initial impressions before I've even looked at the book, so there's not any type of, bias or anything like that. And of course, even though I don't know if this is based off The Little Mermaid, I feel like it probably is. But that's what it reminds me of, like Ariel on her rock and stuff like that. But there's also like all these fishes around her, and she looks like she's looking in a direction of like a new horizon. Wish I could be where the people are. But of course, like that's obviously, what I'm thinking, because that's what Ariel and the Little Mermaid wanted to do, be where the people are. But she does definitely look like she's looking at some landscape far away, longing for an adventure, to go there, to check it out, and it's calling to her. So then I just write down, those initial impressions. I might write down, like if there's a theme of colors or other symbolism that jumps out to me, like what's this castle up here? There's tones of like yellow and orange, those warm colors. She's got a red orange-ish, and it could correspond like with chakras, like the sacral chakra. So all those things I would write down. No right or wrong there with that. Just what does it say to you, and put that in your tarot journal. After that, what I do, and I have to be quick because I also have to work, but then I grab the little handy dandy little book, and a lot of the books will have some additional information for you too that goes over correspondences with the suits and the numbers, which is also important. Google is your friend. Also use that. The more sources that you have, the more thorough and complete your understanding will be. So definitely use all the resources that you have, not just the book that comes with the deck. Please, not just the book that comes with the deck. You're shortchanging yourself if that's all you use. But so when I come in here and then I go first to the Fool, indeed, it is the Little Mermaid reference, Denmark, Danish fairy tale. The Fool rests on the pinnacle of a decision. She's ready to dive out of her subconscious and into the physical world, to transform from an animal into a human. She is carefree and excited by a new life, regardless of warnings. Now, they will list an upright meaning and a reversed meaning. Reverse meaning, it isn't so much specific. Like, you'll get a feel. At first, when you're first reading, if that's overwhelming, you can skip reverse meanings altogether and just agree to read every card as if it were upright. That keeps things easier. Otherwise, you can look at if there is a card that's reversed. What I typically do is just consider that there's an obstacle. So if upright, this card means beginnings and possibilities. If it were upside down, I would say that there is something blocking a new beginning or a new possibility. So just that's an example of how I do that. But again, they will list a reverse meaning, which may or may not be the same as what you think. Go with your intuition first and foremost above everything. If a reverse card, you're thinking it means the opposite, then go with that. If you're thinking it means a blockage or an obstacle, go with that. If you want to just read it as upright, again, you can do that. So this lists the upright meaning as beginnings, possibilities, impulsiveness, innocence, a free spirit. Reversed, apathy, hesitation, a faulty choice, doldrums, recklessness. So the vibe of this card really is like, it's a leap of faith. This card is 0. It's not even number 1. So it's just, and we have to have, there's nothing, the Fool, it sounds negative, but it's not. We have to have this energy to start anything, because ultimately you can't be 100% prepared. You will never feel ready. If you wait till you feel ready, you're never going to get there. So there is a certain element of risk when starting something new, and you have to have that foolishness, I guess, to just dive into it, and then address issues as they come. The good part about this, of course, is just the willingness to just jump in and deal with problems as they arise. If they arise, decide what to do when the time comes. Drawback to this is obviously you're not very prepared. You haven't thought about what you might encounter and how you will deal with that. So you might be stuck in a situation that you are not prepared for, but that is how we learn. Also, as I mentioned before, the Fool's journey is told from the 0 all the way throughout the whole major arcana. And I have that great book that I did get from Five Below. And I'll never talk shit on Five Below because it really is great. So additionally, and this is what I did too when I was learning, I had a couple of books that I would reference. I'll use this one. Excuse me. And then in addition to that, which I don't have time for today, but you can also look it up on Biddy Tarot, Keen.com, any other tarot websites that you like. There are some forums, which are great. So in this book, and again, they have a lot of, information in here too, but I want to skip right to the Fool. Okay. So where is the... Yeah, this is a lot of... Okay, so upright. The upright Fool is representative of the infinite... Excuse me. Of the infinite potential that we all have within us. She is the source of primal energy, innocent and free, a blank slate that later becomes molded as she undertakes the path of self-knowledge. She throws her heart into adventure without fear. The Fool can signal the start of a new path, one that is full of risks, but also great rewards. And then in this book, they also have like a reflection and an action section. So reflection says, you may be yearning for new beginnings and adventures into the unknown. What would you do if nothing stood in your way? Have you been given a chance to experience a new world, whether in the form of a change in career, an exciting new romance, or a trip to a new country? The Fool's optimism will serve you well during these voyages. Actions, be curious, explore new territories, let go of expectations. So that's the first card. Any of these things that resonate with you, especially as you're consulting multiple sources, if you see a common theme being reported, definitely note that down, write that down, your impressions. You can even write down your meditations on that after having the information. Think about that card then throughout the day. Think about different situations that you'd be like, oh yeah, that's Fool energy right there. Start to recognize that. Write down any correspondences in your journal if that's helpful. Fool, of course, the number corresponds to 0. I don't offhand know what astrological sign, but that might be some homework. Go ahead and check that out if that's something that you would like to know. I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes. I'm going to file this away into the album if I can figure out how to do that. But I will see you all Saturday for a new spread Saturday. I made a mistake last Saturday by starting out with the Celtic Cross. Probably should have started simple. So we'll consider that a practice run. This Saturday will be the real new one. We'll start with a 1 card spread, or maybe 3, and then from there we'll explore more complex ones, and I'll share infographics for everything. Thank you for watching this video. If you have made it to the end, I love you. Please feel free to comment any of your insight or information that you would like to share, and have a great rest of your day.